Hello, I'm Violet Newby, and I would like to show you a little bit about how to be a successful hand appliquer. First of all, I have taught more than 260 students around the world, including in Mexico, France, Afghanistan, and of course in much of the United States of America. Many of my students have told me that they have had poor success in the past with hand applique, and a lot of people are actually very threatened by the idea of doing hand applique. So let me show you for just a few seconds how simple hand applique really is. Many people find themselves so frustrated in their starting off with applique that they end up just doing machine applique, they fuse it, or they give up altogether. I would like to encourage you to continue in your pursuit of the skill of hand applique. As I said, I've taught more than 260 people, and I can tell you that only 2 of my students didn't successfully hand applique, which means that I've had 262 students who can successfully hand applique today, and I'm sure that you would be one of them. Hand applique is very fulfilling. It's great to work with your hands. And I would like to tell you that when you have to do all this preparation for machine applique, and then you're stuck with your machine, you can't go anywhere, it loses many of the advantages of hand applique. Hand applique, when it's done, when it's been appraised by a quilt appraiser, is worth between 4 and 8 times as much as a machine appliqued quilt. You have the advantage of being able to take it with you because it's very portable. And you also have the advantage of working directly with your hands as you're doing this. This design here, it is a water lily block designed by me and my son Marcus Weekly in a 12-month block of the month series called Wild Flowers. This block is another block from that series. This is the March block, Daffodils, so you can see that you get absolutely beautiful results with hand applique. And nothing looks quite like it, and truthfully, nothing is as satisfying as having done it. The simplest shape of all to applique is a heart. This is from a book called Affairs of the Heart by A. Rossman. As you will see, every single one of these elements in the applique work is only hearts. This is also from the same book by A. You'll notice that I substituted butterflies for the hearts, but you could just do the block as it originates, or you could find butterfly fabric and cut them out and make this individualized as I did. This block is by Piece of Cake, Linda Goldsmith and Becky Goldsmith and Linda Jenkins. And this is a lot more playful, but the work is exactly the same, completely done by hand. And yes, every one of those little stitches is done by hand, but I always tell appliqueurs, it's like breathing. Life is one breath at a time. Applique is one stitch at a time. You just never get ahead of yourself. You enjoy every stitch. I would like to encourage you to go ahead and sign up to receive a free report from me. In this report, I'm going to address the major pitfalls that cause people who attempt to hand applique to either fail or to be very challenged, and I will help you learn how to overcome those. I will also include a listing of my 5 top ways to hand applique. I can tell you or teach you 28 ways to hand applique, but I'll tell you about my 5 top ones, why, and the various applications that they have, because never is one way to applique enough. It's, as we all know in the quilt world, there are lots of ways to tackle anything, and it's good to have multiple ways to address them. I would like to tell you about my most successful applique student. Her name is Dorothy. She was 84 years old when she took my class. She learned to quilt when she was 12 years old with her grandmother. When she sat in my kitchen taking her first applique class, she told me, "Violet, I've had 5 applique teachers teach me over the years, but I've never been able to applique. What makes you think that you're going to be able to teach me?" And I told her, "Dorothy, it's because I believe in you." So after the first 2-hour lesson that Dorothy had with me, she could indeed hand applique. And she said to me, "Violet, where have you been all my life? Where were you when I was first learning how to quilt?" And I said, "Dorothy, my mother and father hadn't even met one another when you learned how to quilt." We all thought that was great fun. But you know, after 6 weeks of applique applique classes with me, Dorothy knew 5 ways to applique, and she completed 6 blocks. She made the most beautiful quilt. It was completely finished within a month after the end of the classes, and I know that today yet it hangs in her dining room, and she's so proud of that. So I would like to tell you, if Dorothy could learn to hand applique successfully, so can you. So if you go ahead and follow the link here, I will be happy to send you those reports. Thank you so much.